The relentless August sun blazed overhead as I made my way down the parched road. Each step a testament to my perseverance. With each step, my muscles protested under the burden of an oversized backpack and a hefty gym bag. Sweat cascaded down my face, saturating my black t-shirt and leaving it marked with streaks of white. Even my socks and sneakers were drenched. Nathan, come now. We mustn't delay. My mother's voice resonated from ahead, somehow brimming with vitality despite the sweltering heat. I whispered softly to myself, urging my legs to quicken their pace. How she could stride so assuredly in this weather was a mystery to me. Her white-dyed hair, neatly gathered into a ponytail, danced with every step she took. In stark contrast to my discomfort, she appeared unfazed by the sweltering heat, clad in her crisp white t-shirt. As we strolled past towering fences that shielded opulent vacation homes, their splendor remained shrouded from our sight at last. Mum paused before a grand iron gate, deftly retrieving a set of keys with the skill of someone who had done this many times before. With a swift motion, she turned the key and pushed the door wide, revealing what lay beyond. A white gravel path unfurled ahead, meandering gracefully through the meticulously tended bushes and trees. It opened up to an inviting terrace, where a stunning, expansive porch graced one side. My gaze was drawn to a broad paved path leading to the garage, elegantly framed by a lush green fence that harmonized perfectly with the thoughtfully designed courtyard. Every detail of this place whispered of careful consideration and artistry. In this vibrant recreation area, a barbecue and stove stood ready for culinary adventures, while a grand table loomed large, exuding an air of opulence and authority. The arrangements were thoughtfully crafted to guarantee a vibrant showcase of blossoms or produce from April all the way to October. Upon entering the cool, shadowy embrace of the house, a sense of relief washed over us. With a contented sigh, Mum placed her bag on the hallway table and made her way to the kitchen, and I trailed behind her. As I absorbed the immaculate interior, it was clear that every detail of this space had been crafted with care and precision. In a vibrant recreation area, a barbecue and stove stood ready, while a grand table loomed large, exuding an air of opulence and authority. The plantings were thoughtfully arranged to guarantee a vibrant showcase of flowers or fruits from April all the way through October. Upon entering the cool, shadowy embrace of the house, we found a soothing respite from the outside world. With a satisfied sigh, Mum placed her bag on the hallway table and made her way directly to the kitchen. I ventured forth, absorbing the immaculate surroundings within. All was as it should be, perfectly arranged in harmony, with the shimmering countertops and the spacious refrigerator seamlessly integrated into the cabinetry. What delights do you crave to savor? I summoned forth my voice as I gaze into the well-stocked fridge. A delightful array unfolds before me. Grilled chicken sausage and cheese, vibrant tomatoes, crisp cabbage, juicy watermelon, and the luxurious touch of black and red caviar. Mother chuckled with delight. One might have chosen to pause at the mention of chicken. Perhaps I shall sizzle some potatoes to golden perfection. My stomach rumbled, voicing its discontent. Alas, hunger gnaws at me. Let us simply indulge in the delight of bread. Before I embark on my next adventure, I must first cleanse myself with a refreshing shower. Shall we embark on this journey together? Go ahead, she replied, invitingly. I shall partake in a meal. As I lingered in anticipation, I offered a nod of appreciation. As I made my way to one of the two indoor bathrooms, eager to wash away the grime from our journey, I found myself marveling at the house. It was evident that the owner had invested lavishly, even constructing an outdoor bathroom in the backyard, featuring a toilet, shower room, and a shed for garden equipment. The difference between the carefully tended front yard and the more utilitarian backyard was striking. Yet, both spaces whispered of a dedicated owner. I sensed in the faintest rustle of the wind. The atmosphere was heavy with the aroma of hay and sun-kissed soil. I caught sight of Mom, standing there like a statue, her eyes shut tight. A solemn look etched across her face. She appeared to be absorbing the tranquility, relishing this uncommon instance of serenity, hesitant to disrupt her. I approached with quiet curiosity, drawn to a wooden booth that stood elegantly, crowned by a black tank atop its roof. The craftsmanship of the structure was truly remarkable, adorned in a coat of white. The structure stood with boards so meticulously aligned that the seams were nearly invisible. Just beneath the roof, a modest, unglazed window peered out, while the door featured 3 vertical slots, perfect for hanging clothes and towels nearby. Below, a shelf awaited the shoes, completing the scene with a touch of practicality. I cautiously glanced within. The walls were adorned with a vibrant mosaic, illustrating BS in the style of ancient Rome, with a gentle push of a regulator on the wall. The water would cascade down, not from a showerhead, but directly from the ceiling, enveloping a small patch in the heart of the cabin. Upon the shelves rested a captivating collection of gels, shampoos, and washcloths, each waiting to share its tale. I stepped back out, still marveling at the attention to detail. It was then that I noticed Mum had vanished. Believing she had returned to the house, I made my way inside, hoping to snag that food we had discussed. As I strolled along, my thoughts drifted to my mother, the one who had nurtured me all on her own. After Dad departed from his role as the deputy director of a construction materials company, she chose never to remarry, dedicating herself fully to her work and seldom taking a moment for herself. I had the fortune of visiting the sea twice a year, always content. Yet, I couldn't recall the last time she had truly taken a break. As I wandered into the kitchen, my mind adrift in a sea of thoughts, I almost bumped into Mom. She let out a little yelp of surprise, her excitement palpable in the air. As I stumbled backward, my instincts kicked in, and I reached out to steady her hands. In that moment, I grasped something entirely new, a sensation I had never experienced before, especially not with her in such a confused and shaken state. I swiftly lowered my hands and took a step back, murmuring, "Not quite," with a gentle clearing of her throat. Mum adjusted her shirt, smoothing it down with care. "None harmed," she declared. I found myself perched a bit above my usual height. "I'm on a journey to seek you out. Shall we embark on an adventure to explore the river you spoke of?" I nodded earlier, thankful for the diversion. "That sounds delightful. Allow me a moment to savor a quick bite before we continue." As I sifted through the fridge, extracting a chicken leg and a plump tomato, an unsettling sensation lingered in the air, refusing to let go of me. A subtle change had occurred in the way I perceived my mother. Perhaps it was merely a figment of my imagination, I reassured myself. Just the sweltering heat and the strange environment weaving illusions in my thoughts. Little did I know this was only the beginning of a summer that would change everything between Mom and me. As we ventured into the woods, my mind still spinning from our earlier encounter, the forest wrapped around us in its cool embrace, offering a refreshing escape from the sweltering heat. Intense warmth. The atmosphere was saturated with the sweet scent of luscious berries and earthy nuts, as a harmonious blend of bird melodies and the gentle whisper of leaves surrounded us. "Mom," I called out, noticing she had moved a little further along. "Hold on a moment." As she turned, I found myself on the brink of losing my balance. She donned a delicate nightgown, a surprising choice for our stroll to the river. "What troubles you?" she asked, her eyes keenly observing my moment of doubt. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my voice unwavering. "Nothing. But isn't that the garment you wear for the night?" She cast her eyes downward, as though a sudden awareness of her attire had just dawned upon her. This was resting atop my bag. "Is it significant?" I shrugged, uncertain of my own judgment. As we walked on, words flowed between us, and I became acutely aware of her presence, captivated by the delicate dance of the fabric against her skin with each subtle movement. A path unfolded, leading to a serene clearing by the river, where a wooden pier stretched out over the water, clear as glass. The water sparkled, revealing the graceful dance of fish beneath its surface. Nearby, a picnic area beckoned, and a question lingered in the air. "Aren't you going for a swim?" For a fleeting moment, I paused, a wave of self-awareness washing over me. "What about you?" With a graceful motion, she waved. A hand waved away dismissively. "I left my swimsuit behind, so you go on without me." Before I could utter a word, she was already making her way to the pier. I stood captivated as she approached the conclusion and, in an unexpected moment, leapt elegantly into the water. The nightgown embraced her form as she emerged, revealing much of what lay beneath. My heart raced as I shed my clothes down to my shorts and ventured into the water after her. The sudden chill wrapped around me, a refreshing diversion from the tangled web of thoughts that danced in my mind. A wave of relief washed over me, yet a shadow of apprehension lingered in the air. "What do you imply?" With a soft sigh, she let her fingers glide through her damp hair. "It seems you might sense the unease that lingers in the air between us. It is unjust." I nodded, my voice lost in the silence. Indeed, she was right that these emotions, whatever they were, they could not be permitted to carry on from the point where mother and son had departed. She trailed off, and I felt an irresistible pull, an unseen force drawing me closer, compelling me to uncover the mystery that lingered in the air. We were so near now that I could see the water. I inhaled softly, extending my hand to gently brush against her face for just a fleeting moment. Time seemed to freeze, and then, with a sudden gasp, she drew back. "No," she declared with conviction, yet the quiver in her voice betrayed her true feelings. "We cannot, Nathan. This is not right." The spell shattered, and a tide of shame surged through me. "I'm sorry," I whispered. In that moment, I found myself lost, unable to connect with her gaze. With a deep breath, mother prepared herself. "All is well." She is unmistakably making an effort to find her composure. We find ourselves weary, and in this setting, it's all too simple to become enveloped by the present. Let us cast aside the shadows of the past. I nodded, filled with appreciation for the gift she was extending, and we glided back to the pier in quietude. The burden of our close brush with transgression lingered heavily in the air as we emerged from the water. Once upon a time, in a world filled with the endless possibilities, there existed a singular being who embarked on a journey of self-discovery and adventure. This being, with a heart full of dreams, sought to weave tales that would captivate the hearts and minds of those who would listen. Each step taken was a brushstroke on the canvas of life, painting vibrant stories that danced in the imagination. With every word spoken, a new chapter unfolded, inviting all to join in the magic of the narrative. And so, the journey continued, a tapestry of experiences waiting to be shared with the world. I found myself unable to resist stealing glances at my mother, her wet nightgown revealing much more than it concealed, and a wave of guilt washed over me for the desire that still surged within me. "I believe it's time for me to return to the house," mother declared, twisting droplets from her hair. "Why not linger a while and savor the swim? Allow me to begin the enchanting process of crafting tonight's meal." I observed her retreat, a tumult of feelings waging war inside me. A part of me longed to reach out to her again, to complete the moment we had nearly begun. Yet, I understood she was correct. That line remained uncrossable, no matter how alluring it seemed. With a deep breath, I plunged back into the water, yearning for the clarity that the physical challenge might bring. As I glided through the water, lap after lap, an undeniable sense lingered in the air, whispering that a profound change had woven itself into the fabric of our connection. The remainder of this vacation lingered, suspended in the doorway, an unexpected twist in the tale. She flinched at the sound of my voice, then mustered a smile. "Of course, you have the ability to arrange the table. We toiled in quietude, the atmosphere heavy with the weight of unvoiced thoughts as we remained seated, ready to feast. Mum finally began to share her thoughts with Jimmy about the events at the river, and I interrupted her with a raised hand. It's all right, Mum. You are right. We managed to reconnect. Yet, I assure you, it shall not occur once more. She nodded, a look of relief washing over her features. That's quite splendid. As we gathered around the table for dinner, the conversation flowed awkwardly, filled with polite exchanges about the house and our upcoming vacation plans. Yet, deep down, I sensed a flow. Amidst the tension of possibility, our words and best intentions weave a complex tapestry. As I lay in bed that night, gazing up at the strange ceiling, I sensed that this was far from finished. Curiosity tugged at my thoughts as I pondered the mysteries that the coming days might unveil. A door had been opened, one that resisted closure, and deep down, I questioned whether I truly wished to shut it at all. Sleep slipped through my fingers as the day's memories danced in my mind, the sensation of Mum's skin beneath my touch, the way her damp nightgown clung to her form, the gaze in her eyes just before she turned away. I was aware that it was not right. We understood that these feelings were not meant to be acted upon. Yet in the stillness of the night, with only my thoughts as companions, it became difficult to recall why the dawn arrived all too quickly. Sunlight poured through the curtains I had neglected to close, and I could hear my mother bustling about in the kitchen. The aroma of coffee drifting gently into my room. With a deep breath, I braced myself for yet another day of feigning normalcy. As I descended the stairs, a flicker of hope stirred within me. Perhaps, just perhaps, ordinary. It wasn't what either of us truly desired anymore. As I stepped into the kitchen, the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloped me. Mum was there, standing at the counter, with her back turned to me. She hummed softly while preparing breakfast. The light summer dress she wore swayed gently with her movements in the morning light. I said, my voice still rough with sleep, and she turned a smile on her face that didn't quite reach her. Good morning, Nathan. Rest embraced me gently through the night. What about you? I shrugged, pouring myself a steaming cup of coffee, the rich aroma filling the air. You're familiar with me, always in the thick of things. The radiant orb in the sky. She replied. In the stillness, we shared our meal, words unspoken. The echoes of yesterday's events dance in the air that surrounds us. My eyes were drawn to her, captivated by the way the sunlight danced in her hair and the graceful curve of her neck as she savored her coffee. Mum declared, her voice slicing through the stillness, that we ought to venture into the surroundings. Today, a delightful hiking trail awaits just around the corner. I nodded with appreciation. That idea has a certain charm, doesn't it? It shall guide us in clearing the fog that clouds our thoughts. She locked eyes with me, and I caught a brief glimmer. There was a moment of relief mixed with disappointment before she turned her gaze elsewhere. A bit of fresh air and exercise will do us both good after breakfast. As we embarked on our journey, the forest thrummed with the melodies of birds and the gentle whisper of rustling leaves, filling the air with a refreshing vitality. For a time, we wandered in a profound silence, enveloped by the beauty around us. The movement serves to alleviate some of the strain. As we navigated a challenging steep section, a bond formed between us. As she stumbled ever so slightly, a reflex took hold of me, and I instinctively placed my hand on her waist to steady her. She stiffened at my touch, and I swiftly withdrew my hand. My apologies. I spoke softly, my gaze wandering far from her presence. All is well. Her voice danced gently through the air. Gratitude flows from my heart. And so, we pressed on. Yet, a change had stirred once more. The atmosphere crackled with an unmistakable energy, thick with anticipation. Each unintentional touch of our hands or shoulders igniting a flurry of sparks within me. As we stepped into the clearing, a stunning panorama of the valley unfolded before our eyes. As my mother approached the precipice, she absorbed the breathtaking view before her, while I lingered in the background, observing her every move. The sunlight danced upon her hair, weaving a luminous halo that left me utterly spellbound. Isn't it simply enchanting? She turned to me, a smile dancing on her lips. I responded, my eyes lingering on her exquisite features. Her smile wavered as she caught the depth of my gaze held her, and for a fleeting moment we simply locked eyes, the atmosphere heavy with silent whispers and hidden longings. Mother was the first to avert her gaze, softly clearing her throat. We ought to return. The hour grows late. The journey home was serene. As we drew nearer to the house, our minds wandered, each lost in a tapestry of thoughts. Mum suddenly halted and pivoted towards me. Nathan. Her voice quivered just a bit. It's time for us to have a conversation about this. Did we grasp her meaning right away? Inquired of my heart. Is the bell tolling? She nodded, inhaling deeply. What tale is unfolding between us? It simply isn't fair. We can no longer ignore its presence. Indeed, I understand what I expressed gently. Yet my emotions are beyond my control. Mum shut her eyes, as though burdened by a deep ache. Neither can I. But we share a bond as mother and son. These feelings must remain unspoken. I inched nearer to her, just within reach to witness the tears beginning to gather in her eyes. Isn't it possible, Mum? In all my experiences, I have never encountered feelings like this for another soul. She gazed upward, the essence of conflict vividly reflected in her eyes. Nathan, I implore you. This is not something we can accomplish. Yet, as her words flowed, she remained rooted in place. We stood 3 inches apart, the air between us alive with tension, each moment stretching out, offering her every opportunity to step back. I leaned in, our lips brushed together in a gentle, tentative kiss, lingering for just a heartbeat. Mother held her ground, a soft whimper escaping her lips. She returned my kiss. It was as if a dam had burst, releasing all the built-up tension and longing that had accumulated over the past few days. As we deepened the kiss, my hands found her waist, pulling her closer, while hers tangled in my hair until we finally broke apart. Our breaths came in quick, heavy gasps. Mother's gaze was filled with wonder, a blend of yearning and astonishment within their very essence. That was a choice we ought to have reconsidered. She spoke softly, yet she remained still, not making a single move to distance herself. Yeah, we did. I respond to my pursuit of her cheekbone, and I yearned to embark on that journey once more. She gently shut her eyes, surrendering to the warmth of my touch. This is not right. Nathan, how misguided you are. Does it seem amiss? I inquired, bestowing gentle kisses along her jawline. She trembled with a chill that coursed through her. Her hands clutched my shoulders tightly. Absolutely not, she confessed. God, help me. It resonates perfectly. In that stillness, we lingered, wrapped in each other's embrace. Time stretching around us. The line we have just crossed stretches out behind us. It was clear to me that retreat was no longer an option. I was acutely aware that our actions danced on the edge of the forbiddance, shrouded in the whispers of taboo. Yet, in that fleeting moment with my mother cradled in my arms, I found myself unable to muster any concern. What shall we do next? I inquired gently. Mother gazed up at me, a tapestry of emotions woven across her face, dance of emotions across her visage. I'm not sure, she confessed, but this is something we must keep to ourselves forever. I nodded, fully grasping the weight of our predicament. This shall remain between us, a hidden tale just for our ears. I made a vow. With a wistful smile, she reached up to trace my face. Whispers of our hidden truth, she whispered softly before drawing me in for another kiss. As we strolled back to the house, hand in hand, I sensed that a transformation had taken place. The remainder of our vacation lay ahead, brimming with endless possibilities I had never allowed myself to envision. And it was wrong. It was a tale of prohibition. In that moment, It felt like the most perfect thing to do. On that night, as we nestled together in Mum's bed, the world outside faded away, our fawns entwined in a delicate embrace. Curiosity tugged at my thoughts, leaving me to ponder the mysteries that lay ahead for us. How shall we chart our course through this? A new, intricate connection awaits us as we step back into the rhythm of our everyday lives. As my mother nestled closer in her slumber, I gently set those thoughts aside for the moment. In this moment, I would immerse myself, cherishing each fleeting second of our secret romance.